Welcome back, Chess Kids, to the official ChessKid YouTube channel. Funmaster Mike is here with another YouTube secret. What is this one all about? Well, do you remember that ChessKid video on clearance? Well, if you haven't, go check it out. Let's put it up on the screen. That's right, clearance. Or as my dad might say, what's your clearance clearance? I never understood that dad joke. Let's get right into the chess. Thank you, Dad, by the way. In this position, this was reached in the recent U.S. Chess Championship. Grandmaster Lenier Dominguez was white, and he was playing Fabiano Caruana. And in this position, we have opposite-colored bishops. What do we know from another ChessKid video? You want to be the attacker if you've got opposite-colored bishops in the middle game. And here, because we have a dark square bishop, and our most prominent pawn is also on a dark square, what does Lenier do? He just gives the pawn. Now, because he's a super grandmaster, best player ever from Cuba, maybe? Okay, maybe Capablanca's in that discussion. But Lenier understood that opening up the dark square diagonal is where he wanted to be in life. Now, he did some exact analysis, I'm sure, but he realized that if the pawn captures, then he can maybe sometimes create a battery on this dark square diagonal. Look at that pawn going diagonal. No, just kidding, I meant to draw an arrow. That diagonal. And also, one more piece gains some life. That would be Mr. Rook down here, or as Lenier might say, Senor Torre. And if the rook moves up to the square a7, then the 7th rank will be opened up and all kinds of happy, fun arrows. Now in the game, Fabi was keen to this, and Fabi played f6 to block the diagonal. But let's just take a look at what might have happened if the pawn was captured. Here, I have it on good authority that Lenier would have moved his queen to this little itty bitty square, but sometimes strong moves are the small ones. Queen to e5, and now I don't think black is going to be able to survive this position because the bishop might come to d4, that's obvious enough, and the rook is coming to a7, which I think is actually the strongest thing. And don't forget, he could just grab his pawn back. Let's just say that black sort of plays along and Fabi moves the bishop back to a square like f5. Here, there's lots of good moves. Bishop d4 is a winning chess move, but rook to a7 is maybe even stronger. And the point is, in order to stop queen takes g7 mate, you pretty much have to block with your rook. But then I just play queen check. Your rook has to go back. And then I move my queen back to b7, and it is the sideways battery that decides the game. Notice the queen cannot get to any of these defensive squares, not even this one, because they're all guarded by white pieces. White didn't even need to get the bishop to the square d4, although that certainly would have been helpful if it was needed. So this pawn sacrifice e6 was really, really nice. Let's go back. After e6, black could have also traded queens, and after takes, then takes queen back. I think black should be able to hold this position, but again, you can very clearly see it is much better for white to have cleared out that pawn on the e5 square so the bishop has a ton of life in this position. You may have been thinking, where have I seen this clearance idea before? Well, do you remember that event that we did in London this summer? Tani versus Burrington, they played on the big screen? Okay, you probably weren't there, but I was there. Let's see how Tani used this lesson. We've actually already been over this position in a previous video, but in this position, do you see how Tani has opposite colored bishops? And he understood, boom, giving away the pawn is the thing to do because now this bishop becomes a monster. Not only is e4 Tani's move, it's actually the move that the supercomputer recommends. If you don't play e4 right now, if you play some other chess move, let's say you develop your queen or something, then white's not going to give you another chance. White's going to play queen e4 and blockade your pawn, and your bishop is going to be quite sad. If you want the full analysis to the game, you're going to need to go check out that other video we have on our ChessKid YouTube channel about this match. And why don't you go ahead and hit the subscribe button right now? Don't wait. No, don't eat that banana. Hit the subscribe button right now so you won't miss another edition of Funmaster Mike's YouTube Secrets.